How's it going, everybody? I'm Brian for Pop Culture Crossing, and today we are talking about Sniper. This is a 1993 military action movie set in the Panamanian jungle. The performances are good, but the writing and directing problems result in a film that will likely only be appreciated by hardcore military film enthusiasts or acolytes of Tom Berenger. The plot centers on Thomas Beckett, an elite, renowned Marine sniper. After Beckett's spotter is killed by an enemy marksman, Beckett decides that he'll try to enact vengeance at the next possible moment. The situation is complicated when the US government becomes concerned about the possibility of Panamanian cartels inciting revolution to make political gains. As a result, Beckett is paired with a new spotter, a civilian named Richard Miller, on a mission to eliminate the cartel leaders. The friction between Beckett's field mentality and Miller's lack of war experience produces sparks throughout the sensitive mission. The pacing starts out strong but is not sustained throughout the film. The operation itself is not cut and dried, but presents significant unpredictability, although it is respectable from a realistic standpoint in that missions may not always go as planned. This hampers the pace and is really not even handled in an enjoyable manner. Yet the assignment's impulsiveness relates to the story structure itself, as it is difficult to discern between the second and third acts. I initially thought the movie was about to end, but was surprised when it lasted for about 20 to 30 more minutes. I'm not saying that every movie has to have an identifiable 3-act structure, or that films should not take unexpected turns or last longer than audience expect. Rather, and ideally, movies should be more polished and cohesive than this one. Choppy editing results in abrupt, jarring transitions and creates discontinuity, which just compounds the pacing problems. Jungle-themed military action, infused with minor revenge qualities, informs Sniper's tone. On the one hand, shortly after the duo embark, it becomes clear that the mission is not going according to plan, specifically from Miller's standpoint. The emphasis on improvisation and thinking on your toes is actually handled quite well. On the other hand, there is a subplot in which Beckett is trying to avenge his former spotter. After the movie concluded, I thought that this subplot should have either been omitted altogether or heavily rewritten to be more pivotal to the story. The pairing of Beckett and Miller makes Sniper feel like a quasi-buddy cop action film set in a military aesthetic. The interactions between the men somewhat resemble that genre. However, buddy cop films typically have a likable character and an adversarial character that create a nice balance. Beckett and Miller, on the other hand, are both displeasing, and they resemble the duo in 48 Hours, which, if you've been watching my reviews, you know that I did not like that film, as I thought it was plagued with its own problems. In that regard, the buddy cop, buddy aspects are half-baked, and Sniper is best described, as I just said a few moments ago, as a quasi-buddy cop film at best. The acting itself is pretty good. Tom Berenger and Billy Zane's Thomas Beckett and Richard Miller, respectively, are well acted. The actors have good on-screen chemistry that effectively illustrates the competing military and civilian molds of the characters. There is some interesting development, whether it is positive or negative, but character growth notwithstanding, Beckett and Miller remain unlikable. In watching the film, I got the sense that the actors didn't have a lot of material to work with in the first place. The characters themselves are just all over the place and are caught in a perpetual bipolar cycle that lasts the entire movie. They may seem amiable enough in some scenes, but in others they're completely obnoxious, and this goes for both characters, so you have this constant up and down of both characters occurring, and better writing and direction would have been beneficial to the movie. And if the character construction itself would have been improved, Berenger and Zane would have likely been able to hone their performances. Sniper's cinematography and production design are decent. The cinematography is creative, albeit inconsistent. The opening sequence is particularly strong. Great shooting stance compositions are highlighted, which for a movie entitled Sniper should be expected, so at least they get that right. And several sequences serve as homages to Saving Private Ryan, Platoon, and depending on your opinion of bandanas, either The Deer Hunter or First Blood. Scope overlays are also included, though I preferred seeing Behringer's traditional scope, not Miller's high-tech, cheesy optics, which every time they came on screen was just kind of like, this does not look good. The bullet tracking sequences also add unique contemporary flair to the movie, but I personally was not particularly fond of it. Conversely, the sets and wardrobe are nice and complement the jungle motif, and the ghillie suits and face paint create convincing camouflage that looks great on screen. Sniper's pacing, writing, editing, and directing issues result in a film that should have been tighter and much more polished. Appropriately, these drawbacks are reflective of Luis Lucho Llosa's direction, and you really don't want all those areas I mentioned having problems in your movie. There's simply no excuse for the uneven editing, and Llosa should have provided better direction for the actors. It's unclear if that element specifically was more indicative of the writing or the direction, but Llosa's position as director afforded him the ability to tweak the script as he went, and he should have done so. In conclusion, Sniper's interesting premise is soured by its numerous problems. Thinking of it as a pseudo-buddy cop film may make it more palatable. It may even help reconcile the characters' traits and behavior, but it is missing the balance that is expected with those films, and considering it as such is not a panacea for its other issues. Indeed, Sniper is entertaining, but viewers should know that it is clearly a B-level action film. If you're an enthusiast of marksman or military-focused movies, or if you really like Tom Berenger, you'll probably enjoy Sniper. But for everyone else, it is definitely not a must-see, and if you don't see it, you won't be missing much. So that's my review of Sniper. Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments below and across our social media channels, and I look forward to hearing from you there. As always, our full detailed written review is available at popculturecrossing.com. Don't forget that you can listen to us on the go on iTunes and Google Play. And in the meantime, let me know what your favorite military film is. I look forward to reading what you have to say there, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.